Okay, so this is going to be the start of a new tutorial. I have another Forewarned copy here with 0 progression. We have 0 lore pages, 0 gold, 0 artifacts. We're starting off with bare bones. First achievement you can get is you pick up this cup here, and it'll be easier in VR. Crouch down, look up, press G, and try to get it to fall into the basket. And then you get the Don't Litter, Keep Your Office Clean achievement. Another one you might be able to get in the office is to change the radio by right-clicking. Yep, coolio. Never mind, all my stuff is already set. So I changed the headlamp to R, marker flag to F. I think for normal, like by default, those are reversed. Yes. However, I prefer to have the marker flag on F because I don't use that as much, and the headlamp at R. Journal, I like to have its T. That's usually L. Very weird placement for that. Mummy Distract is usually P. I changed that to Q. I don't know if these are reversed. No, they're not. Okay. And the rest of this should be the same. So there really isn't a whole lot to go over in the lobby stuff and any prep. Although I guess I could go over the custom game modes real quick. But I don't have access to that until level 10, so screw that. We're going to start at Cursed Sands Ruin on small. If you're playing with a larger group, you can do large and medium. But if you're literally just starting out, it might be better to do small. Now, the other thing we could consider is looting, because one of the strategies for this game is just to bail immediately instead of grabbing the relic. So you could do large, just get as much gold as you can, do the side objectives to level up, and then dip. I'm going to do small right now. Oh great, they're going to give me a tutorial here. Screw that, I'm here for that. So your headlamp is a separate light, and that'll be important to remember for Necref. Normally you would hit download, get your data here and see your missions. Once you get past the point where leveling isn't necessary to prestige, you don't even have to read this. You don't have to do any of these photograph things. It's completely pointless. This is your radar system. You will use it as part of the evidence gathering for the... because mejai showing up on the radar is an evidence. Base level, you can only see other threats and the entrance. You cannot see like any specific room markers. You're just seeing the layout of the dungeon. For equipment, we have, starting off, 5 slots, which is a lot more than I thought. I thought we started out with 3. We get a torch, flashlight, photo camera you do want. On this map in particular, because we're doing Cursed Sands in that style, we want the tablet, and I would want the metal detector, but we didn't get it, because I don't have that yet. So instead, I'm going to take in the seismometer. I think that's a pretty easy one to get. So we need to take a photo of the mejai when it's manifested. I'll explain that later. Photograph the inner tomb sarcophagus. That's the sarcophagus in the mejai room. Map out at least 44% of the ruins and gather evidence of preserved mains. So gather evidence of preserved mains means take a photo of a mummy. 44% just go around. You'll get that just passively. Collect at least 81 gold pieces. Gather 1 hieroglyphic lore page and find at least 1 rare treasure. When we get those, we'll take them out and we'll put them in the buckets here. Like put the rare treasure in here, and then the lore pages we put in that. Literally says place there in the thing. We also only have 3 photos. If you're gonna attempt banishment or oh. I'm so used to normal layouts, I really forget this is how like easy the noob one is. As you get higher level, the dungeons tend to get harder. So that is one of the canopic jars, which we use for the banishing thing. If you see a door with a blue eye over it, that's the one you want to leave the canopic jars in front of. It'll make it much easier to carry them down. Now, I'm going to head right, because it looks like we got a rare artifact in here. And I would very much like to grab that, but at the same time I don't really have very much in the way of inventory space. So we're taking this up and we're putting it in the box. We get money for it, so... Alright, once you get a rare artifact, it's a good time to hop over and grab the rest of your equipment. Just save you a bit of time later. And just a quick rundown, because I didn't mention it before. This is the Geiger counter. We're going to look for radioactivity, which is usually left when the ghost leaves some ghost goo. We have the spirit box, so we can ask, are you here? I don't think my mic is set up. Wonderful. That could be a problem. Oh no, it's push to talk, but it should still work with the are you here? Interesting. It's okay. Are you French? Are you French? I guess my mic is just constantly on. I don't know how I've survived a con for this long. Compass lets you pick up or what was it called? Magnetic distortion. Ah, here's the mejai. So mejai shows up in this ghostly form the whole time. Doesn't seem to have done anything. It's not even messing with my flashlight. Not making this go crazy, not making any earthquakes. Kind of boring, all things considered. So I'm just going to grab that in my photo cam because I would like to get a photo of a mummy. I'll go over each of the mejai later. So here's our picture of the mummy right here. And you heard that little tone go off. That is telling you that you did it correct. This we need dynamite to get through. There's always a rare artifact and a bunch of gold behind it. The faster you get dynamite and the sooner you basically prioritize upgrading dynamite, because that'll make it really easy to get money later on. One of our evidences is disturbed tombs, so we want to open as many of these as possible, and then if we hear a loud noise coming from this way, we can go check it out, and if it's shut or we see scratch marks with the tablet, then we know. I forgot to grab the canopy jar by the baboon statue. Best case scenario, we get a time on. A time on is a very easy one to start with. Generally speaking, I would say his little minions, I won't use the term Caleb called them in one of our episodes, but they are rather unpleasant to deal with in the after you stunned him. Oh wait. So now, here we have all four of the canopic jars, and we're just going to leave them right there. When the time comes, we'll take the compass and put that there as well, because that will be critical. And this is the little swingy trap. Those are little axes that are going to come out. And this will stay active the entire time, even during the mejai chase, unless you have special custom rules. I have disarm traps on usually. And this is the mejai door. We have a very linear dungeon here. Okay, so now I guess we're going on to the identification phase, which can largely just take place in the same room you've been in. All we're really trying to do is get the evidences to figure out which mejai it is. Now, in this case, it's based on what evidence the mejai doesn't have. Because if you look at each one, they have a lot. Oh, that's the physical. Because if you look at each one, they have a lot. So, destruction, disturbed tombs, project voice, meaning spirit box, detected by radar, causes tremors, Metallic signature, audible footsteps, electronic disturbance. Even if you're bricked on one evidence, you'll usually get another, so you can actually finish. That was extinguished flames. When you have a gust of wind that blows out the torch, everything around you, that's extinguished flames. Which unfortunately does not give us very fun magi to deal with today. I was hoping for a time on. Necref wouldn't be a bad one, but Necref is pretty hard to deal with. Are you here? Where are you? And it did that thing again. But when it says incoming and it glows red, you have your answer. So now it's between Necref, Ufris, and Thomas. And Thomas is, if we get him, we can't do it. Because we have to use the photo cam. So actually, if it's Ufris, we can't do it. We need the Heka amulet. We have to hope for Necref. Great. Okay. Are you gonna do a thing? Ah, ghost goo. Perfect. So now we don't have the metallic or the metal detector to check for metallic signature, but we do have the ability to check for radioactivity. And it's looking more and more like Necref. So now that we got it down between two, what I like to do is go through and figure out which one. So that would be Ufris and or Necref. That would determine it. Tremors determines. Footsteps determines. Magnetic does not. No, they will have magnetic, so you can just check that one in. We don't even need to check compass because it will be, as long as the other evidences are correct. And put the compass in front of the basement door. Radar detection does not determine. Neither of them will have it. Metallic signature we can't check for, but they both have it, so it doesn't matter. Destruction would be Necref, so we keep that one. Disturbed tombs can be either, or it can determine, and electronic disturbances determines. Tremors means Ufris. No tremors means Necref. Usually, if it has tremors as an evidence, you'll get like 7 to 9, and you can pretty much mark it. But I don't know if that changes on higher difficulties or not. I haven't paid attention that much to it, so. Let's see, none of the caskets have been messed with that I know of. Yo, you wanna slam one of these caskets for me? Well, it's doing something around here. Oh, reanimation. Ufris, so we can't even finish this. However, we can go get a bunch of money from the mejai room. I mean, we'll probably die to the mejai. It's not going to be a great idea. But you know what? Thinking of doing it anyway. I think the dungeon's small enough. So when you know what mejai it is, you look here and you look at their little hieroglyphs, and you look over here. So Ufris, I always remember snake. Then you hit this button. If you get it right, you get fairies. Now, you can just grab all the gold in this room and then dip. If you're just looking to loot. I'm gonna be a little stupid here and just try to go straight for the banishment if I can, but I would be shocked if I could. So now you hit this to open the casket, or coffin, whatever. to grab the relic, it's on. My personal preference is to run the relic straight for the door, like the basement door, if you're doing the banishment. If not, send it to the front door. Now, Ufris appears as you wherever he decides to show up, so this is going to be interesting. And sadly, I cannot use this Kopesh on him. Buenos dias. Oh, cool, it's right here. I have had Ufris come down to the basement with me before, so hopefully he's not going to. Alright, what did I get? Simon says, Lord above, thank you. Okay. Now this is going to be off cam, but I had to run back up and grab the last canopic jar, and I put the other 3 and the relic in the altar area. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. So it's just Simon Says. And you pretty much just repeat it until you get all 3 of those. So.
Have you found the relic?
Oh yeah, that's the thing about Ufris, that he's just gonna like keep hopping on the cell phone and annoy you. So what you can do is you can hold B and tell him to f*** off. Oh yeah. Torch is more important than flashlight. I don't think I've mentioned that. This is your actual weapon. Flashlight just lets you kind of see further down, and once you get stronger torches and a stronger headlamp, it's not as necessary. You do need the flashlight for a time on, but generally speaking, the torch is your kind of go-to. Alright. Now, when you get to the altar, normally I'm assuming you have like a full inventory of crap, and like this thing will tell you the hieroglyphic text reference a ritual of banishment that requires combination of several items in the altar in the nearby chamber. You need the ushabti, that's what we got from the puzzle. The relic is the Kopesh in this case, although it can be the Ankh and a bunch of other stuff. The canopic jars, there's always 4 that spawn in those chests. And then this is the actual ritual altar, which you do need to light the candles. However, if you forget your torch, there's one underneath the table. Then you come over here. Each mejai has their own special thing. This is part of the new update. It's too late for me, but I figured out its weakness. Ufris, averse to recognition, must be banished with truth wards by activating them in reverse numerical order. I should consult the Hierodex in my journal's research notes. So you go to your Hierodex here, you go to numbers, and this is what we'll be using. Now, before you even put the rest of the stuff on there, what I recommend is you do this, set all of them to the correct one, and then look at that, look at the symbol, figure out the number. So that's 1,000. Okay, this one's reverse numerical, so it's just like Dakan. Dakan is gong and then reverse numerical, so pretty similar. So this one would go before that one because the finger is 10,000. And we want to make sure it has the eye.
Wake up!
And then that appears to be the the singular one. So that one will be last. And then man will be first, because that is the highest value. So the order we'll do these is 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you do is you hit these buttons on the side. However, that's only after the first phase of the hunt. Or the banishment. We'll get to that. Now the door shuts. You're stuck here. You die here. You die here. You also get lore pages and a photo camera in case you wanted to get the Mejai's real form. Or that stuff just fell from this earlier up
You're too late.
Above. Kind of forgot to get the inner sarcophagus, but that's okay. So now we're going to have mummies coming in, and they're going to try to attack this box here. You want to keep it from breaking. It's a lot more frail than it used to be, and it's a lot harder to kill everything. Now with these guys, you pretty much just need to rush by them, like so, and they get lit on fire. But later on, you'll actually have to swing and to take out the enemies. And this is what we don't want, is them attacking the box. But yeah, we just keep running around here, lighting these guys on fire, and eventually we'll move on to phase 2. I think the game just legitimately glitched. Because I don't know why I have my compass all of a sudden. Alright, so now reverse numerical order. So we go 1. And then we go 2. That one's last. 3. And then, if you can, kill them on your way through. They'll start glowing red like this if you did them in the correct order, and then they'll... And now we're on to phase 3. You see, phase 2 is only hard if you're just... if you don't do enough prep work. So now there's just going to be a ton of mummies that show up, and we gotta protect the altar. That's it. Don't even really worry about running through the mummies unless you're like taking a lot of damage. You're not gonna die, or unless you took a lot of damage before. Yeah, I think the game just straight up broke whenever the camera fell through, because I don't think we're just supposed to get the camera we had already used. And with that, we got Can't Touch This, Protector of Thebes, and Not One of Us. Also Pocket Change because I collected gold, Collector because I got a lot of gold for banishing the Mejai on the first run. We get an extra 556 gold for banishing the Mejai, which isn't that much at this current juncture, but you know what? That's fine. What's actually more important right now is that we get a ton of XP, because we actually have to level up to unlock stuff. Once you prestige, you can just unlock everything immediately. We need to banish a Mejai. These will get you challenge points. I don't know if I'm going to do any of them right now, because I really don't want to. And when you get them back, when you get your relic, it'll appear in this room and you can walk around with it. You can threaten people with your Khopesh. We also should have a rare artifact, which appear in these cases. As you can tell by the bottom there's 24. We don't have any lore pages from that run. Assuming because it was our first run, so it didn't give us much. Because we didn't get any levers or anything in there either. Yeah, how many levels did we get? Because we were level 1 when we started this. 1,000 gold, 1,000 XP. Current level is 13. We got 12 levels for banishing the Mejai right off the bat. There's no shame if you have to just keep going through with the banishment, but alright, I'm getting TNT immediately. We want that. That will help get money very quickly. We also want to get the Heka amulet for dealing with Bufris. I would like the radar sensor and the metal detectors. We actively need those to get evidence. Don't really worry about upgrading them though, because you can literally just use base, Geiger, and metal for all intents and purposes. The ones you really want to upgrade is stuff that will help you with the surviving the hunt phase. Radar system is another good one because it'll help you keep track of where everything is. Because sometimes you'll pass it, it'll get picked up on the radar, and then you'll be able to see it. Especially whenever you get the ability to see levers, because then you can know if it's in the mejai room or not. Torch will help increase burn time. I don't really care about that right now. Inventory belt is critical. We want to get as much of that as we can. Every upgrade you can upgrade your belt, you want to do that. Handheld radio is great for finding your way back to echolocation. And I guess the last thing to upgrade is... I kind of want to do medkit, but photocam would also be good. I don't have enough for medkit. I'm being stupid. I have smartwatch or hard hat. And between the two, I think the hard hat is better. Smartwatch is good if you play a lot of multiplayer, because then your voice will be clearer. But if you just use Discord, you're good. We can do custom games now. Okay, cool. So with customs, you can make all kinds of good stuff. So it looks like it's loading in my presets from my other save. Alright, so when you do your custom game, once you hit level 10... there's a few ways I like to have my custom set up. One is medkits off, but then 200 health points. And then spirit interaction frequency down with disarm traps on. This one is better for doing the banishment. If all you care about is retrieving the relic, this is the one I would use. Turn on lock chests, because you don't need to get the canopic jars anymore. So that'll increase how much money you get by 25%. And then you also turn off the Blessing of Osiris. If you want to turn that back on so you have a chance of surviving, that's up to you. Usually I don't worry about it. I don't usually die to the mejai, I die to other stuff, so... And then this is the one I use for just looting. No medkits, no Blessings of Osiris, spirit interaction, pretty much nothing. Disarm traps off because we're not even going to open the mejai tomb. Starting health points 200 just so we have a little bit of a buffer for how much damage we'll be taking, because I'm also doing a custom difficulty on this one. And lock chests at 25%, or lock chests on so we get the 25% bonus. These are here as kind of bonuses like other game modes you can do. There is an achievement for getting it with this one. I have not done it yet. This is a complete waste of time. Just play it on normal or like this one, and you'll make way more money. So then, to make money, I also do large map because it increases how much you get for both rare artifacts and the lore pages. Then we're going to take this and we're going to bump this up. So at easy or at normal you get 10%, hard you get 20, and brutal you get 30%. Mummies can kill you pretty easily in this though. You only get so many hits, and without medkits you're going to take a lot of damage, but you get 75% more money. This is the best way to do cash grinding. And if you do Cursed Sand Ruins, there's not a whole lot of crap that can... Now it's also worth noting that you can do the dailies and get points here. Prestiges will give you points as well, but it's a lot more work. So you can get little decorations for the office. You can get stickers for your equipment. You can get some cosmetic things, but they're not really that great. The real good thing is pets. I highly recommend the cat if you're like prone to dying a lot to stupid stuff, or if you're trying to do the challenge or whatever, that'll give you a whole nother life possibly. The bird will let you move way faster on a lot of maps. Crocodile will help you like stay alive instead of drowning in the Sobek maps. The snake will reduce your damage to poison and acid, which is really good in the Pharaoh's maps. And the spiders won't blind you anymore if you have this one. So personally I think my favorite is the crocodile, but the snake is also really useful, and the bird is just a good jack of all trades one. The cat gives you a little bit of health, and the dog will warn you if enemies are nearby. I don't know if that includes Talgor or not, but you already see Talgor with the whole gray screen and everything. Dakan, I don't know if this will trigger Dakan. I don't really use the dog, so... but maybe he'll warn you if Dakan's starting to come and just hush up or something, I don't know. As for lore view, you can literally just look up a summary of all of these. Every time, I'll show what the heck we're talking about with lore pages, but every time you get a lore page, it'll give you a randomized page in the story with no context surrounding it. You have to get all 170 to get the full story of like the lore of the mejai, why they're there, and everything else. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and end this guide here. The next one, I'm planning to do a compilation from older videos of how to survive the mejai, and then I'll do another one with as much ushabti puzzles as I can, but I think the prestige one is going to come before the ushabti puzzles. That said, I'm not going to leave anybody hanging. I'm going to put a link for the ushabti puzzles that I go to, because they've added a bunch of new ones since the recent update. With that, happy haunting.